Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Tech TLDR. Today, in the EV market update, we have a lot of news going on regarding Tesla, the recent fire Tesla had at their factory. We're going to be talking about a company called Lordstrom Motors and how they've potentially been defrauding their investors the entire time. We're also going to be talking about another EV startup called Alpha Motors and their new pickup truck, which I'm really excited to talk about. So if you want to know the entire story, be sure to stick the whole episode. Drop a like on the video so you stay on the tech side of the YouTube algorithm, and let's get into this video. So yesterday there were a bunch of tweets going off about the fire in Tesla's Fremont, California factory, their Giga factory, where they pump out all their Model X's, Y's, S's, high-end things like that. And so I went on to InsideEVs.com. They had a really good article about it. There was like Fox News and CNN. I know how people get about those companies. I personally don't like either one of them. I didn't want to talk about their articles. We'll talk about Inside EVs. They had a great article about it. So what happened was, at the facility, the Giga press machine actually caught on fire. And although nobody got hurt, luckily, no firefighters or employees were hurt, and it also wasn't even in like an active area of the building. It was in a construction zone where none of the factory workers would have been anyways. This is a big setback for Tesla because just a few weeks ago, they didn't even have supplies coming to this facility. They were short on the manufacturing side and they had to shut it down. Now they have to shut it down for this. Tesla's been having a bunch of these just random small setbacks into their company. And I know like Tesla makes a good product and everything like that, but it's really hard to continue to scale and stay as a positive company and not go bankrupt when the things that you rely on, which is manufacturing, just completely fail you and continuously. Speaking of Tesla fires, I found this photo on Twitter, which oh my God, this is just, so this guy, his Tesla caught on fire, and he's been waiting 2 months for the customer service to work with him to get him a new vehicle. I mean, you look at this, oh my God. Now, I know this is, the battery caught on fire, and that's a lot of people's worries about these new EVs. Oh, well, the battery's not safe. They catch on fire. Let's look back in history. A combustion engine, hence the word combustion, I'm sure when those were originally developed, had plenty of combustion problems. So this is still new technology. I'm really not concerned about the fires that they're having on terms of a scale. At large scale, I don't see it as a problem. I just, 58 days this guy's waiting to get some information from Tesla to get a new vehicle. That's what I see as a problem. So Tesla, although they do have a cool concept, a really nice vehicles that they pump out, there's a lot of back-end work that they're just struggling with right now. And speaking of more of Tesla, actually, so this guy, Mick Tesla, tweeted, "Can I plug my tiny house into the Cybertruck to power it?" Elon Musk says yes. That's pretty cool. The Cybertruck is going to be a giant battery. They've talked about having a 240 volt outlet connected to this truck, so you can use it for a whole range of different activities. If you're not familiar with like electrical code or things like that, most outlets in your house are 120 volts. So 120 volts, anywhere from 15 to 20 amps. They didn't specify the amperage on this, but 240 volts I'm sure will come with a decent amount of amperage, and you can power, if you can power this tiny home, yeah, there's probably at least 20 amps going to that thing. So again, it shows like the tech side, the hardware of these Teslas are great and they're really phenomenal, but the back end, the customer service, the HR department is just trash. Tesla, they gotta really figure that out and get it improved. This company here, Lordstrom Motors, I haven't really talked about them much in this channel. Pretty simple EV startup. They want to focus on the truck side of things. Now, their CEO is also invested in, a previous bigwig, I'll say, at the company Workhorse, which we talked about. Workhorse wants to be manufacturing large utility vehicles, and they've yet to really secure any big contracts. They were supposed to be the contract for the U.S. Postal Service, and they didn't get that contract. Actually, a military contractor got that contract. And so what's the deal with this company, Lordstrom Motors? Well, they reported that they had about 20,000 pre-orders of this truck that they're producing right up here, this guy right here. And so 20,000 pre-orders, and then they went on to say that no, they actually had 100,000 pre-orders. That's apparently not the case. So short seller Hindenburg Research, short seller, if you don't know, these are companies that are invested in the stock market, not hoping a stock will increase in value, but will decrease in value. If you don't know, think about the whole GameStop scenario we just had. Very similar situation. This company is looking for companies that will fail, and they bet that they will fail. And they are finding that this company has actually lied, and it does not have the pre-order numbers that it does. They put these pre-order numbers out there because they want to say they, secured funding and that it would look good for the investors. However, if they fake those numbers, that's illegal. That's a big problem. They get investigated by, let's say, the government. The government investigates these guys. They're screwed if this ends up being true, if they really didn't have the actual numbers that they're claiming. This firm's really digging deep. They said that actually went to say that the CEO, Steve Burns, paid consultants for every truck order, the pre-order, as early as 2016. Especially, this is while he was also leading the company Workhorse. So this guy has led 2 failed companies, Steve Burns. Not the kind of guy you want in your business, I'll just say that. Also, apparently, they made a 911 call, and they have photos of an incident in January where one of their truck prototypes burst into flames during a test drive. And of course, the company, they couldn't be reached for any comments, questions, things like that. What do you know? They purchased a 6.2 million square foot factory from GM in 2019, and they want to produce 20,000 electric commercial trucks annually. But, if you're just faking pre-orders on these trucks, you're just pumping 20,000 trucks to be dumped in the trash. So that's, good business model. I'll just say that. Really good business model. But in terms of successful truck companies, just look at this beauty right here. So this is Alpha Motors, and this is their Wolf truck right here. Now this right here, this gives me if you've seen Back to the Future, I know you've seen Back to the Future, Marty tries to win the Toyota. Tell me not. Tell me this doesn't look like the Toyota he's trying to win. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful truck. It doesn't look like a goofy electric Tesla Cybertruck. I don't really like the Cybertruck look. It looks like that 80s to 90s fashion square body truck. I love the back rack with the lights on it. This is, they really nailed this on the T. On the head. Look at the bed. Look at that. It comes with a shovel, little axe. You got your weekend warrior things. Solar panel, charging station. Very big for an electric vehicle as well. Not too crazy about this interior though. This is kind of odd. I feel like I'm in like an Audi or something like that. Like an Acura. This really isn't truck vibes, but again, that's just rendering of the prototype. We can see them step it up in a bit. Look at the specs on this thing: 250 to 275 plus mile range. It's got the dual motor 4-wheel drive or front wheel drive. 6.2 seconds, 0 to 60 mile an hour. Can tow 3,000 pounds. This is a great weekend warrior vehicle. I really think it is. If they can, depending on how the charging works with that solar panel, because 250 to 275 mile range, really, it's not the best. There can definitely be improvements. But I think just, the aesthetics of it and what it can do, I really think that's a good weekend warrior truck. 3,000 pounds, 3,000 pounds would probably be more than plenty for most applications you would bring. If you're towing like maybe a 4-wheeler or something like that at the most, but for most camping gear, you can throw that in the bed. The charging platform right here, the solar panel, is fantastic. I'm really excited to see something like this. They've yet to announce the price of this truck, but I feel it'll probably be on the pricier range. All these new EV startups are. And this company, Alpha Motors, they've yet to really prove themselves in the automotive space. However, they're not defrauding investors yet, so that's a good sign. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you guys in this EV episode update. I want to do plenty more in the future, and I want to improve on this. I'm still new and clunky to the EV stuff, or at least my presentation of it anyways. But either way, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel for more of this content, and also be sure to have a good one.